today we're going to be doing part 3 of What If Deku Was Majin Buu. So, where we ended off was in the sport. Now we're going to do their hero name. Obviously, everyone picks the same, Boxer, Sasuke, King gets killed in murder. And Midoriya this time funds Majin Buu, or like the baby. Because Majin Buu. So, after I do that, obviously all of those people get their recommendations for like I forgot what it was called, so they can like train with the hero and like that. And obviously All Might runs into the door saying Midoriya, come with me. And then Midoriya goes with All Might to the bathroom. And All Might says that he has a recommendation from a hero named Gran Torino. And he explains how scary Gran Torino is because he was his old teacher and he never gave him mercy, yada yada yada. We skip ahead a few days and Midoriya arrives at Gran Torino's house by knocking on the door. Gran Torino plays dead with sausages on the ground, acting like he died. And then obviously Midoriya gets scared. And then obviously he's like, psych, I actually didn't die. And after, he's like, I want to see what you got, kids, and show me what you have. And so Midoriya gets a suit on. His suit obviously looks like normal Majin Buu without. It looks like, if you look up Kid Buu, it just looks like that. He looks like that, but just taller. He doesn't look like on the screen right now. So, obviously Gran Torino stretching, and then Midoriya gets ready, and then Gran Torino goes start, and then Midoriya obviously flash steps. Doesn't hit him because he's able to dodge, but he's surprised at his speed. Now Midoriya shoots a blast at him, and he doesn't want to destroy the house, so obviously it just puts a little hole in the wall. He's not trying to blow it up, but they're like, let's just say it's kind of like a Dragon Ball Z fight. They're going blow for blow, hitting each other, but like they're blocking it. And then Gran Torino kicks Midoriya down to the ground, and then goes to kick him again, but Midoriya splits up into two pieces, and then grabs Gran Torino by his head, slamming him into the ground and kicking him into the door. And then Gran Torino, obviously surprised because he's like, I didn't expect this kid to have so much power at such a young age. Now Midoriya runs at incredible speeds at Gran Torino, but Gran Torino dodges, kicks Midoriya, and that doesn't knock him out, but he says, okay, that's enough, we're good. And then Midoriya is like, okay, and then he goes out to get something to eat, and it's the next day. And Midoriya gets the, what's it called? He gets the idea from the chocolate fish stuff. That sounds so disgusting. But he gets it from that. He gets the idea of using one for all in his full body, but he doesn't really need to because he can heal himself, which doesn't really make sense. He doesn't need to, control it, but he tries to. And I'm gonna say, since he is Majin Buu, he can practically use 100% of full cowling immediately. I'm gonna just say. Now, he's using it, but it's kind of hard to move. It's a lot harder to move in this because he has to keep 100% on at all times, so it's a lot harder to move and stuff. And after a few, hours of keeping it on to try to, control it and move, he's actually got it down, and he can move like it's normal full cowling in the anime. So obviously they go out to find some weak sauce villains. They're on the train, and a Nomu with wings busting with a hero in his hands. Hero's face slammed into the ground, and then obviously Gran Torino's like, kid, get back, and then Gran Torino flies out by pushing the Nomu out. Now Midoriya says no, and then he obviously flies or jumps out. And oh, my eyes are. And then he's running, and then he finds a bigger Nomu. Like, kid, get out of here, it's dangerous. And he's like, right. And then he's running down an alley, and he finds a hero killer about to kill Ida. Now he obviously runs and kicks the hero killer, but a lot harder like nearly almost knocking him out because how hard it's 100%. It's not 5%. So Hero Killer goes flying into a wall, saying that he's incredibly strong. And then he obviously Hero Killer starts running at Deku, slicing at him. But for some reason, when he cuts him, he doesn't get any blood because he can't. And I'm gonna say, Midoriya gets a huge chunk cut out of him, and obviously it's on sword. And then I'm gonna say he absorbs stain. Yeah, he absorbs stain. Obviously, Ida's shocked because she's like, "What did you do with that man?" And he doesn't say. But now he has incredible memories of heightened abilities and incredible techniques of fighting. The sword and hand-to-hand combat. So now we get to when the heroes get done with their fight because of Endeavor. Then they come over and like see if they're okay. Midori doesn't have a scratch on him, but Ida's in pain and a lot of pain at that. And this time Todoroki's actually able to help Endeavor defeat that one monster, which wasn't he didn't really need to, but because Todoroki didn't come over to Todoroki didn't come to Midoriya's aid because of Midoriya already beat him. He didn't need any help. So now we got to them all getting back into the class, and that. Well, wait, did they do that? And they didn't need to. I think they either did the exam. No, they didn't do that. They did the hero training arc, I think. So obviously they're training. They get to the place that the cat girl, throws them into the Hold up, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna say I don't know if it's this and then after like. No, it is. It's after, yeah, training arc. So training arc, obviously Midoriya is really good and stuff like that. He's already pretty strong. And then the training arc, they're obviously get thrown off into the they get thrown off into the forest by that one cat girl that can manipulate Earth, I think, or something like that. Manipulate the ground or something like that. Yeah, they get knocked off, and then Midoriya, with his heightened ability, can sense that there's stuff there. And same with obviously, uh, that 1 6-armed dude that can create ligaments out of his other arms. So he he can hear it. And then, hold on, let me. But, so, Midori is running through, breaking a bunch of them, and then obviously so with Todoroki and Bakugo. Midori starts to shoot humongous energy beams, like blasts out of his hands, completely destroying a lot of it, but setting kind of like fire to the forest, but no, not really. Then they obviously get there quite faster than they usually did. And then I'm watching this one YouTuber, he's funny, but so they get there a lot faster, and all the teachers are like, "Wow, congratulations." And then they start to eat because they're all pretty hungry. Same with almost said Naruto. Same with Deku or Midori. And so after they're done eating, they obviously go to bed, and then the next day they wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because they have to, and they have to train and like do all that. Obviously, Bakugo's exploding into the air and all that, and yeah, it's all that. Yeah, and then Class 1B comes in and like they're training as well, and then that one cat dude, the buff dude, is like being incredibly hard on Deku, and he's like, "Come on, you can do this. You got this. You can do this," and that. And then, so now we go to the part where the villains come in. So obviously they're going off alone with two or more people. Midoriya gets sent alone, I must say. And and then who attacks Deku in the story? No, he doesn't get sent off alone. All the other people get sent off alone, and then he goes over to see if Koda's okay. And then obviously he's seeing that he's about to get punched by a muscular dude that has a muscle augmentation quirk, and then he jumps in, catches and a lot faster at that, jumps and catches it at blinding speed, catches Koda, and then is like, okay, say here, I'll deal with it, and then obviously, the muscle hero jumps in, is about to attack him, but since Midoriya absorbs Stain, he has incredible combat abilities, meaning he, like, completely reflects it by, like, it's kind of like what Gogeta did to Broly, I must say, where, like, he, like, twisted his arms, and then, like, he did, like, a little whirlwind with his arms, and then he caught, or, like, pushed Broly's arm aside, and then kicked him in, or not, he didn't, he elbowed him in the stomach, and then kicked him in the face down. I'm gonna say that's what Midoriya did with 100% full cowling, so it was incredibly painful. But then, and it was right on his on his left eye, so like he had to replace his broken eye or his fake weird amputated eye or whatever you call it. And then obviously they're going blow for blow, but Midoriya's dodging most of them, and every time that he hits them, he's just punching holes through them, but it's not really doing anything. And then he shoots blasts, and he shoots a blast, sending him flying. But then he gets up, puts a lot of muscle in his leg, and then actually connects a really strong punch to Midoriya's stomach, sent him flying into the forest. Now he's about to attack him again, but Midoriya jumps up into the air. Let's just say Koda's also running away, so like he doesn't get hit by this. And then he shoots a humongous blast of energy, like a kind of like a Final Flash but pink, and at the guy, completely incinerating and nearly killing him. And then he goes over there and absorbs him, getting a muscle augmentation quirk. So now he has incredible fighting abilities and a muscle augmentation quirk. And like I said, I think I said earlier that he went around absorbing people with super strength, super durability, super speed, and like an incredible senses. So yeah, this man's just busted. And then he grabs Koda, and he's not damaged really at all. So he runs, but he's not really out of energy at all either. No, he grabs Koda, and he obviously jumps off, finding Aizawa in the process, and then he gives Koda to Aizawa, and he's like, wait, what did you do? Where are you going? And then he's like, nothing, I gotta go help my students. Or, not help my student, help my classmates. And he runs off, and he obviously finds... Who did he find? I kind of forgot. Who did he... Let's just say he runs off to help the cat people. And then he also even says that he defeated Muscular, and then the villains are shocked. Not the heroes, the villains, because Muscular is one of their strongest people. Now the villains are shocked, and then they start charging at Deku. And Deku breaks the sword that Spinner had, and then kicks Spinner in the face or in the stomach, sending him flying into a tree, breaking it, and then hitting him into another tree. And then Midoriya vanishes from that one guy's sight, the magnet guy's sight, and then is about to kick him, but the guy dodges, not dodges, but blocks. But the shockwave and pure strength of 100% from Cowling sends him flying too, digging, and then Midoriya vanishes or teleports right in front of him, grabbing his face and slamming into the ground and pushing off the ground into the air, and then punching him in the stomach, sending him flying into the ground. The heroes are shocked because they're like, this kid was able to defeat these two easily while we had trouble with them. And then, and he goes to the one girl that has red clothes and is like, tell everyone that Bakugo or Kachan's the ones that they're looking for. And then she tells them, and then obviously, okay, what else happened? So I guess you could say we cut over to Uraraka and Froppy, or, Suyasui. And then, Suyuasui gets her tongue tut. He gets her tongue tut. He gets her tongue cut, and obviously then Toga runs at Uraraka, and then Uraraka, since she knows how to dodge a knife and pin somebody to the ground, she does it to Toga. Toga's weird, gets blood from her, and yeah. And then we go to the part where it's Todoroki and Bakugo versus that one guy, and then they're like having trouble fighting him because they can't really hit him. And then we cut over to Deku and that one 6-arm dude that's versing, not really versing, but hiding from the incredibly irritated or mad, uncontrolled Dark Shadow or Tsukuyomi guy. And then obviously Midoriya's like, I have a good idea, let's lure him away. And since he can run, he actually, I guess you could say picks up, not really picks up, but sort of picks up the 6-arm dude in a sense he can run faster. But yeah, they both run, but he doesn't pick them up. They just both run from Dark Shadow, but Dark Shadow hears him and chases after him, and they're gotta lead him to Bakugo. So they lead him to the explosions, well, not explosions, they lead him to the ice and explosions, I'm gonna say. And then he leads him, and then obviously Dark Shadow beats the guy, and then Todoroki and Bakugo use their light from their fire and explosions to weaken Dark Shadow, and now the dude is in control. And then they're walking and stuff because everyone knows that they're after Bakugo, and then they notice, they're like, okay, and then they meet up with Uraraka and Suyuasui, and Uraraka are like, wait, you had Bakugo, and I forgot his name, Tsukuyomi guy, and then they're like, and then he's like, oh, well, yeah, they're right behind us, and he was like, no, they're not. And then he's like, what? And they look back, and they see the one guy that can turn stuff into gumballs standing up there, like, oh, it's a fine magic trick, isn't it? This, that. And then he's like, Midoriya starts running after him, and then he can't, get him because I don't know why, he's just that fast. And then he's able to kick him, but not the gumballs don't fall out. He like kicks them, sends them flying into the place where Dabi, Toga, and all of them are at. And then they obviously they land, and obviously all the other people land, and they're like ready to fight. Dabi shoots flames at him. Twice is fighting Todoroki, and then Toga doesn't like pounce on Deku and tries to cut him because, one, he's not tired at all and he's in perfect condition, and one, if she did, he doesn't have blood, so there's no point. Because he's Majin Buu. And he doesn't even have bones. But he does have a brain. He does. And then he is about to punch Toga, but, as you can say, he stopped because, like, oh, I don't want to hit a girl, this, that, but he doesn't really care. And then he, gets her off him, and then he shoots a blast, and she blocks, but it's like a small blast, but it hits her incredibly far, almost knocking her out. She's incredibly in pain. She's in a lot of pain since it's burned her, since, it's a blast, and it doesn't feel good. And then, obviously, they're like, time to go and retreat. Toga gets up, goes into a portal, and then the 6-armed guy's like, are you guys gonna leave without your treasures that you need? And then he took let's say, yeah, he took, what's his name? He took the ice, and then he's like, that wasn't it, and he snaps his fingers, and then it turns into ice. And then the belly button laser dude shoots a laser, sending it and hitting the guy with the gumballs, sending the gumballs out of his mouth because he had them in his mouth. And then the 6-armed dude catches, what's his name? Catches the bird dude with Dark Shadow, and then and then Todoroki misses Bakugo because Dobby grabs it, and then yeah, they leave, and then checkmate, yeah, and so they get to the we get to the all for one fight. So they're like interrogating or asking Bakugo to come into their team, trying to become a villain. And then they're all planning their stuff. Midoriya's not in the hospital at all, and he's not really that mad or not really that jumpy to go save him. But he does go and help because let's say All Might actually recognizes his power, knowing that Grand Trainer told him that he can use 100% of it at will, and he's quite powerful for his age. So so um, All Might lets him come, only him though. So like All Might grabs Midoriya and he's like, okay, let's go. He goes with the heroes, bunch of heroes, and they all break into the villain place with like All Might going so much into the hero, uh, not hero, the villain bar place. And then he obviously fails to get Bakugo because All for One uses warping quirk, sending them all flying, sending them all to where All for One is. And then meanwhile, Mount Letty smashes All for One's place, and then same with Best Genius, which captures up all the Nomus. And then All for One comes out, they're all scared, and he creates a big air wave, sending them all flying, knocking all of them out besides Best Genius, and then he kills Best Genius. And then obviously All for One comes in, same with Midoriya. But since how One for All works, and that if it's twice as strong, meaning Midoriya right now, since it's practically fusing with him, he's twice as strong as All Might. Because like Comet said that they want him to they want One for All to fuse with Boo or Midoriya to make Super Boo. And right now he is complete Super Boo, meaning he's completely absorbed One for All, meaning let's just say he's 5 times stronger. Because why not? He's overpowered. Then and you gotta think that because All Might's weakened. He's not flying through the air, but about to punch All for One. All Might clashes and he's holding him back, but Midoriya lands and then goes right under All Might and then kicks All for One dead in the stomach, sending him flying, not knowing that Midoriya was there, and he's like, why did a kid? But Midoriya, since he's becoming Super Boo, he has to become taller, because Super Boo's like 8 foot, so right now he's like probably 6'4". And he's like, okay, how did I not notice this kid? And then, All for One sends the spikes out, grabbing All Might and sending him flying. And then they have their little clash, but it's a lot different because All Might would be kind of like the decoy. He goes to like the blocks, and then Midoriya goes in for a devastating hit, all that, and then All for One gets mad and shoots the humongous air cannon. Not a combination, but like a humongous air cannon at him. And then that's what All Might does. He defends, but like he goes into a small Might form, and then Midoriya doesn't even get tired from that, but he's splattered everywhere. And then All Might's like, wait, what? How? And he's like sad because he thought his student died. And then he starts to reform, and let's just say his clothes reform as well. Because again, I don't want him to be naked. So he reforms, and then he's reformed into his Super Boo form. Let's just say he needed someone to kill him to fully be into Super Boo form. And let's say he is in it right now, completely in it. Like he's not 8 foot. Let me say he's 7 foot at max. Not even. No, he's like 6'5" at max. And let's say that now he's incredibly powerful. He's 10 times stronger than All Might now. Then he is boxing with All for One, overpowering him a lot. And then All for One, tries to take his cork. Midoriya dodges, and then delivers a devastating kick into All for One's stomach, sending him down. Then uses a combination, and then Midoriya uses 100% in one arm, not actually like full cowling, but 100% in one arm, so he can get his maximum power out. Oh no, let's say he uses full cowling in his whole body. He pushes off the ground, and then he punches. He punches All For One, and All For One punches him. Both of their fists clashing. And then, it doesn't push Midoriya back at all. It's actually pushing All For One back. And then All Might comes in with this one big buff armor. He goes United States of Smash by punching All For One in the stomach. And then he also drags All For One down into, from in the air into the ground. And then he's also, holding his fist into him while he's, pressed into the ground. And then boom, and then also Midoriya comes in, kicking him incredibly hard in the stomach. And then obviously All For One gets in, and what's his name? All Might goes, it's your turn to Midoriya, because he's on the battlefield already. He doesn't point to the camera, he points to him. Or let's just say he doesn't, because people would think wow, okay, it's him. Oh, that's up to him. Wow, okay. Well, that's suspicious. But I'm gonna say yeah, he does. He points to him and he goes like that. So now that's the All For One fight. Next is obviously the training one again, and then yeah. Alright, that's going to be the end of the video. See you guys.